Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, guys. Welcome to lesson number 3 of the course, which covers the relationship between words in the Quran. I hope you guys are enjoying the series so far, and inshallah we'll be enjoying future videos. So let's get on with it then. So first of all, the words we're going to be covering today are words that are made up or start with the letters Sijn, Jim, right, and then whatever comes after that. So you have sajda here, you have sajara here, sajala, sajana, sajawa. So you got 5 words over here we're going to be looking at, and what we want to focus on more, guys, is we want to try and understand how these words are used by Arabs, because if you kind of have a picture of how that word was used in the times the Arabs, the early Arabs and the verses of the Quran were being revealed, it gives you a deeper, richer meaning of the words. So let's look at the first word then. Our first word that we have is sajada. Now you might have come across this word before. However, the word sajada is used in Arabic for a date palm. You know what a date palm is, right? So date palm, when the fruit of the date palm, what kind of fruit do date palms have? Dates, right? So the dates become so heavy that they make the date palm lean towards one side, like bend over. So this bending over, they would call this type of date tree, they would say sajadat an-nakhlatu. The date palm is going down, bending down. So this bending down, like over here, you can see this image over here, date palm slightly bending down, the fruit, right, are holding it down. So this is the meaning that we get from this. And also over here you can see these beautiful dates. You know, have any of you guys seen dates? Yeah, look how beautiful dates are on the tree. You know, one is seeing the dates in the shop and one is seeing them on the tree when they are ready, and that's so beautiful. Okay, another meaning is, now you can see these people, yeah, these are eyes, and the Arabs use various words to describe different types of eyes. So an eye which is like a lazy sort of eye, where the eyelids are drooping down, drooping eyes, yeah, these the Arabs call sajida, right? The ain as-sajida, right? So over here you can see images of these eyes, okay, or that area there which is drooping down, right, and it's hanging over. These are known as I think in English they're called drooping eyes. If I'm wrong, guys, please in the comments, put in the comments. I've been looking for the word to describe these kind of eyes. So you got over here, you know, some people have an illness and the eyelids are drooping down. Some people naturally just have drooping eyelids, okay, as you can see over here, that area over there, and that's basically kind of the understanding of the word sajid, like kind of drooping down, hanging down. So imagine this is an eye. Now I'm sorry, my artwork here isn't very nice, but you just have to believe that I'm drawing some eyes over here. So I'll just draw some eyelids there. Those eyelids hanging over, drooping down, would be called the sajida, the drooping sajid, from the sajda. Okay, another meaning that you can get is a camel when it lowers its head for the rider to ride upon it. Now I'm going to show you an image over here. Have any of you guys ever, put in the comments if you guys have ever ridden a camel, and if you have ever been scared or shocked at the way the camel moves around, yeah, especially when it's getting down and getting up, right? So, well, I have. So you can see over here, this guy, you can see the camel has to lower its head down, and then it lowers the back down. So this is known as a naqa sajida, right? So it's kind of sajadat and naqa. It's when it's lowering its head or lowering its neck in that fashion. So you can kind of, you're starting to get an idea now in your head. You're starting to get an idea that any word that has sajada in there, it means to lower down, to go down, yeah. So, you know, keep that in mind, right? Okay, now a man who actually bows down, so his back is being bent down, right, bending of the back in Arabic in that fashion is actually called sajada as well, like this. So these two guys here, you can see this guy, it has a bent back, or a lowered back, you can say lowered head. This action is known as sajada as well. Okay, so this is a sajada that you get. So in the Quran, how many times does this come, guys? It comes 92 times in the Quran, right? 23 times it comes mushtaq, thulathi mujarrad. 6 times it comes in the form of sujud. 28 times it comes in the form of masjid, and 35 times it comes thulathi and mujarrad as a fi'l. So For example, like let's have a few. وَإِذْ قُلْنَا ادْخُلُوا هَذِهِ الْقَرْيَةِ, when Allah said to the Bani Israel, enter this city, كُلُوا مِنْهَا حَيْثُ شِئْتُمْ, and eat from wherever you want. وَادْخُلُوا الْبَابَ, notice, سُجَّدًا, enter the door, sujjad. Now, sujjad doesn't necessarily mean prostrate, put your head down on the floor and enter in. What it can mean is lowered, humbled, with humility. Right? So sujjadan is used over there, just like the tree, date palm we saw, bending down because of the fruit. Okay. فوقهم الطور رفعنا فوقهم الطور بميثاق وقلنا لهم ادخلوا الباب سجدا, enter the door sujjadan. Again, the same story but with a slightly different angle on it. ألقي السحرة ساجدين. So when Musa alayhi salam, he went and had a challenge with the magicians. So what happened was, when they saw Musa alayhi salam's staff turn into a snake, they all of them fell into sajideen. So that would possibly mean sajid as in on their heads, on sajda, like we pray in salat, or it can even possibly mean that they were awestruck, as in they lowered themselves in acknowledgement of Musa alayhi salam's miracle that he had come with. So again, just like the bending down, the bowing down that we saw, it can also possibly have that kind of a meaning. Right. التائبون العابدون الحامدون السائحون الراكعون الساجدون. You have that there. Okay, let's check out some more. There's loads of them over here. We can't go through all of them. And I don't know, maybe I should make another video going through the verses that cover this. Who knows? Let me know in the comments if you guys think I should make a video just going through the verses of the Quran like this. But it would take a long time, I think. Imagine this video kind of takes about 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Anyway, right, let's go to the next one now. So the next one is sajara. Sajara. Now ra at the end. Now remember, dal has more of a heavy sound, and ra has more of a like flowing sound. So keep that in mind. There's a little hint there. So imagine there's a ditch and water is poured down from the sky or from a high place, and that ditch becomes filled with water, fills up with water. Okay, so the water is pouring down. So here I've shown you a picture here from Google. You can see there is a dried up river there, riverbed. So when it floods, when the rain starts to come, or when it floods, all of that area becomes flooded with lots and lots and lots of water. Okay, so you got lots and lots of water there, right? All of that path, all of that over there where the animals are walking, and all under that bridge, and all these places are known as a place where sajara, sajara, when water flows in there, they become sajara, filled up with water. Sajara, with water. And a more precise description is like this video I found on YouTube. You can see the water being pumped in to this swimming pool. A nice hot day and a swimming pool and chilling out on that day. Anyway, back to this. So the water, can you see the water, how it kind of flows out? It kind of consistently comes out, one after the other. And in fact, the word is also used, sajara is used for pearls in a necklace as well. So you can see the water coming out. So that water pumping out, coming out, that action is also known as sajara as well. So that's a key thing to remember as well. So imagine there is a riverbed and the water flows in. Now this water, what happens, you tell me this, what happens when water is pumped into a place or pours in, like let's say a flood? What happens to the color of that water? Have you been to a park where you see a lake or a pond and it's rained the night before? What color is the water? All right, so imagine it raining there. So that rain water is falling. Nice. You can imagine that water actually becomes brownish, doesn't it? Like a reddish kind of color. That's a sign that that's flood water, right? And then after a while, the sediments begin to settle. Yeah, so you have this in the water. Okay, now, right, check this out now. So I think I found on YouTube again. Okay, so this is a video I found. Now the milk is being poured into the water, pouring and pouring and pouring. Can you see that? Now this pouring, consistent pouring, filling up is called sajara as well. So it's filling up the water, it's overtaking the water over here, as you can see. Right, so this is another usage of sajara as well. So let's make a list of the words. Actually, I haven't made a list of the meanings we get from sajada, did I? All right, we'll do that in a bit. Let's first of all do sajara. So what meanings do you guys get? Write them down, put them in the comments. Okay, what I get from this is filling up. So the word sajara has a meaning of filling. So the meaning of filling is there. The meaning of a hole. So there's some sort of a ditch or a hole that's being filled up as well. Okay, you get the meaning of overflow as well, not just filling, but it overflows, just like we had the flood water. You also have the meaning of mixing. So there's mixing in there as well. So just like the milk was mixing in with the water. Do you get what I mean? And I mean when I was in Pakistan, I remember, and it used to rain here, and when it would rain, like it would only rain a few times in the year, but when it would rain, everything would get covered, and like the clear water you would drink would actually become murky. You know, subhanallah, it would become all filled with sediments, and it's just, you know, weird kind of sensation. Anyway, so one after the other, just like we saw the water being pumped out the pumps into the pool, it was coming out one after the other consecutively in succession, right, like the pearls, like we said. So these are some of the meanings that we get from this. Now let's go to the Quran. Let's apply, see what we understand in the Quran. In the Quran, it comes with three applications of it, three places the word sajara is used, and these are, you can see that there. So let's see. First of all, al-bahr al-masjur, Allah swears an oath and says, by the bahr al-masjur, swear by the bahr, the ocean, which is masjur. Now this masjur can mean it's mixed in with something else has got mixed in with it. Yeah, something like being poured into it. Okay, that's one possible meaning. Another possible meaning that we can get from this is the bahr, the different seas have mixed in with each other. So the normal harmony that the sea has is being disrupted drastically, just like oil spilling into the ocean, you know, or something being spilt into the ocean maybe. Right. Fil hamim thumma fin nar yusjarun, they will be yusjar into the fire, like humans will be poured into the fire. Yeah, they'll be thrown into the fire of Jahannam in such great numbers. May Allah save us. Subhanallah. So imagine in your mind that kind of image that you have of Jahannam there, you know, burning, and then all of us humans, the doors are open, and then humans are being poured in. Millions and millions of humans are being poured in, and on the observer see as though something from above is being poured in until they realize it's human beings. So finnari yusjarun, they will be yusjar, poured into Jahannam, filled up. Wa idhal biharu sujjirat, and one of the things before the day of judgment, the seas will be sujjar, will be violently mixed together, will be violently filled with something. Yeah, so and they kind of get the meaning of explosion in here as well, and other things. So you kind of get the idea now of where sajara fits into all of this. You know, by now you're starting to get the idea of how sajara works. Right. So let's list the meanings that we try to understand from sajada. So one of the meanings we get out of this is to get the top part of something bending, right? The top part of it bend, like the date palm bending, the camel's head, you know, etc. Okay, another meaning we get from this is lowering. So something lowering as well, we get that from sajada. So he has to go down, lower. We also get the meaning of burden as well, like date palm, the dates that are burdening the date palm and pushing it down. So you get this kind of something pushing it, a force that's on it. Alright, so these are some of the meanings for that. Next, let's go on to sajala. So sajala, imagine a bucket, and this bucket is filled with water. Alright, sajala. So this is actually the meaning of sajal. Sajal, it actually means a bucket of water. And in them days, the buckets would usually be made from like leather. Right, so when you poured water into it, you filled it up with water. What happened was basically the bucket, now the leather bucket, which was kind of it had no real shape to it, now it starts to have a shape now, right? So it's able to stand on its own. So this bucket filled with water is called a sajil. Right, so here's some images I found. All of these buckets filled with water, those are sajils then. Sajils. But sajil was in them days, like I said, was that kind of bucket which was more leathery kind of bucket, leather material. Right, so the water is filled at the top brim and it's pouring over. The meaning of pouring as well is there. Okay, right, let's look at another meaning that's the Arabs use with these letters. So again, camels, we're always gonna get camels, guys. Yeah, you know, put in the comments, guys, if you like camels, if you have ever ridden a camel, or if you've ever touched a camel, or even the smell of camels, if you like it or if you dislike it, put in the comments below. So the udder of a camel, so if any of you guys have ever seen the udder of a camel, now I tried to look this up here on Google to try and find something about the udder of the camel, and basically the udder of the camel, if it's large, extremely large, abnormally large, they actually call it a sajl, right? Sajl, it's like filled with milk, right? So that was the word that was used for Sijill, sajla naqatan sajla. So you see this area, that's the udder of the camel. So let's color that in. You can see a baby just drinking the milk there. Now imagine it was much bigger than that. So I couldn't really find a large udder that was over large, right? But just imagine that udder was that large. Okay, so that's the sajl. So you have this meaning of filled, and some things inside of it, and because it's filled, it's lowering it down, it's giving it some sort of distinct sort of features to it as well, right? Another thing is Sajl is used like scrolls. So in the past, when they would write on scrolls, right, so either it's the person who's actually the scribe writing themselves, right, that person's called a Sijill, or it's actually the scrolls itself, the writing. So the person like putting his, like writing something into it, he's kind of got the ink and he's got the pen and he's writing into it, right? So that's either the Sijill, or it's the writing itself. The writing has filled these scrolls up. So this is possibly another kind of meaning. So here are some images of scrolls you can see, and then you can see some writing there. I think this is some Jewish script there. All right, so that is rolled up there. You can see, so those scrolls there, the Sijill there. So in the Quran, this appears 4 times in the Quran, once with the meaning of with the word Sijill, and 3 times with Sijill. Okay, Sijill. So for example, in the Quran, Allah says, "Yawma natwi as-samaa," and remember the day when we will roll up the sky, "katayyi Sijill," like the rolling of the Sijill for books. So it could mean the person who rolls them up, Sijill, or it could mean the Sijill as in what is written inside the scrolls. What is written inside the scrolls, like that's how the universe is going to be rolled up, basically. It's going to be in that fashion. Okay, and then another verse in the Quran, hijaratan min sijilin mandud. So when the punishment came upon the people of Lut alayhi salam, Allah describes this punishment and he says there were stones from Sijill mandud. Mandud means sequenced, like packed together. So Sijill here would possibly mean here some sort of a pouring down, filling something up, Sijill. Some say that means the kind of clay, or some have said like it's their names were written down on each one. Okay, so the meaning of pouring, filling up, you get from Sijill again. فَجَعَلْنَا عَالِيَ سَافِلَهَا min Sijill. And then تَرْمِيهِمْ بِحِجَارَةٍ مِّن Sijill, like in Surah Al-Fil, that the birds, the abil, they're not ababil birds, but groups of birds that came and they had stones in their beaks and claws, and they threw these min Sijill. They were from Sijill. So it could mean from Sijill, meaning in a pouring fashion, or it could be, like we said, Sijill, as we mentioned earlier, could be something that was written down for them. Okay, so these are the meanings of words that sajala. Now, what do we understand from this? So one of the meanings we get is to fill up. You're filling up scrolls, you're filling up a bucket, something's getting filled up. You also get the meaning of standing up on its own. So the bucket, when there was no water in there, it was very without structure. Yeah, so it's very loose. But then when you put water into it, it became strong and rigid. Okay. Also you have the meaning of can be seen. So it's something that's visible from a distance, like the camel's udder can be seen, the writing in the scrolls can be seen. Okay, and the meaning of poured into something as well. Something being poured is also something. So you can see common meaning with all these words that begin with seen, gene, of pouring, right? It's very, very commonly found in a lot of these words. That's the beauty of the Arabic language, you can say, or one of the beauties. Okay, and the other is to goes down, right? Something that goes from above to down. Yeah, so that kind of direction, vertical, so direction from above down. All right, next word. The next word is Sijn. So Sijn, this is a word for prison. A prison the Arabs call a Sijn. So Sajjana, something that restricts people. Like what does a prison do? It kind of keeps them locked away. It kind of humbles them. It lowers them. It makes them unable to do the things that they should do. Right. So this is called a prison. Yeah. So imagine these over here. May Allah save us from prison. This is what a prison is like. Very restricted place. Small, tight. No one really wants to be in a prison. And it's very restrictive, and it brings you down, and it humbles a person, and that kind of a condition. Okay, another meaning of Sijn, right, that we have is what they basically used to do was when you had a date palm, and this date palm water, it wasn't being absorbed into the date palm. The problem usually was in the roots. So what they would do is they would actually dig up the roots, and inside the roots they would make holes inside the roots. They would drill holes into the roots, which would allow water to actually permeate into the roots themselves. Okay, so that's another meaning of the word Sajj, where it's the action of actually making holes in the roots of date palms, which are devoid of water absorption, like over here. So you have someone who comes along and they dig up the base of the trunk, and they'll make holes in the roots in various places to allow water absorption into these. So you get this kind of meaning of restricted place, small little place. Anyway, in the Quran this word appears 12 times, and these are the kind of meanings or the times that they come. Alright, so for instance, let's look. Fir'aun says, if you guys take a god besides me, لَأَجْعَلَنَّكَ مِنَ الْمَسْجُونِينَ. He says, I will make you a masjoon, a prisoner. Okay, someone restricted, someone shackled, someone tied up. Right, so I will make you into a masjoon. إِنَّ الْفُجَّارَ لَفِي سِجِّينَ. Fujjar people, may Allah save us, those people who are corrupt, immoral, evil, disobedient people, will be definitely in Sijil, a place which is like a restricted place. Yeah, maybe it's a name of a place in Jahannam, a restricted place, where a person will be constricted, tight place. People who, in a prison are usually in a tight place, but this is going to be extremely restricted, like claustrophobic kind of restricted. May Allah save us. قال رب السجن أحب. Yusuf alayhi salam, when he was tested in the presence of the women and they wanted to make him do evil, bad things, so what happened? He said, رب السجن, oh my Lord, prison is more beloved place to me than what they are calling me to do. So Sijn, رب السجن, Sijn meaning the prison, the restriction. Me being under restraints would be better for me than falling into my desires. Okay, so the word Sijn comes many times here. Okay, again, yusjan, la yusjan. So all these kind of words have the same meaning of a prison in the Quran. So restriction. Okay, the word, what do we get from this word? We get the meaning of restriction, right? That's one of the meanings that you probably got. Tight place, yes, tight place. Okay, you also get place which calms you down. So you're tight, you're kind of frustrated, and after a while you kind of become calm, and because you can't really do anything, you're restricted so much that you actually stop moving about too much. Okay, so that's another one. And down, it pushes one down, it kind of that kind of humbles them, humiliates them. So you get that kind of a meaning as well. I'm thinking, is there anything else? No, can't think of anything else. Okay, last word, Suju. So alhamdulillah, it's been 24 minutes now, so we'll see inshallah hopefully how quick we can get this one done. So imagine this is a water and this is a sun. Now that water is actually very calm, still water, it looks beautiful. Still water is actually known as Suju. Yeah, calm sea would be described as Suju, like this. It's a beautiful image. Imagine being there. Yeah, subhanallah, such a beautiful place. Yeah, so imagine this kind of a place and you were there. Put in the comments, if you were sitting there right now, what would you be doing? Yeah, would you be reading a book? Would you be watching my YouTube? You probably wouldn't have any connection there anyway. So anyway, that's called the Suju, right? Right. Another usage of this word is have any one of you ever seen a sheep? the wool on a sheep. Yeah, now watch this. Okay, so imagine the wool on a sheep you have on the back of a sheep, and this wool is so thick and dense, and they haven't shaved it, that it all becomes smooth. It looks like a beautiful kind of like a marshmallow. Have you ever seen one of those? All right, let me show you something. This is what I found. Look at that. Yeah, that looks like a marshmallow sheep. Yeah, beautifully nice, soft and smooth. You just feel like, you know, hugging it and squeezing it, right? So that's basically the word that's used for it. As Sajj is describing the softness of the sheep's wool, you can say. So Sajj is for that. Also, the word Sajj is also used for the eye. So an eye which actually looks down. So it's different from sajda, ain sajda. It's when a person who looks down, and when they look down, you can see, like over here, you can see their eyelids going down. So they're looking down, lowering their gazes, so you can see the eyelids go down. Okay, so let me try to show you an image of this. And again, I'm not sure what they call it in English. So it's an eyelid when it's kind of looking downwards. So here, if you can see this eyelid over here, so this one is actually a good example of it. See, like this woman, she's looking down, right, and you know the eyes are like lowered, right? So yeah, so you can see that is actually called sajia. Is when the ain, the eye is actually looking downwards. That's called the sajia. And over there as well, that's a good example of it as well. So these are examples of looking down, and that kind of action that takes place. So in the Quran, it appears in only one place in the entire Quran. Allah says, وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى. Allah describes the night as though it's lowering itself down. Yeah, so it's calm, relaxed like the sea, smooth, very consistent in its thickness, in its darkness, and lowering itself like the eyelids lower themselves down. Okay, so layli, by the night, Allah swears an oath by the night when it's sajah, when it's all calm. And that calm time is like when you're trying to ponder, when you're reflecting on your life and you're connecting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so these are the meanings. So now what do we get from this? So I get a meaning of calmness in here. I get a meaning of lowering, going down as well. Also smooth, soft, smooth, like marshmallow kind of smooth. Yeah, making you guys hungry, yeah? You want marshmallows. And down. So these are the meanings that we get. So I hope you guys have benefit from this and learn a lot from this. I mean, subhanallah, the amount I learn is just so much every time I make one of these videos. I mean, this has probably just been about 30 minutes now, yeah, making this video or recording. Has been probably taken me about 4 or 5 hours to make this video with all the research and everything. But alhamdulillah, I really hope that you guys benefit. And when you guys show me your comments and you give me likes, it motivates me that, you know, there's people out there who are benefiting from this. So I feel like making more of these videos. So thank you very much, jazakallah khair, for watching this. I really hope that you guys can give me some feedback so I can improve further videos, and you know, maybe people will be inspired by what you guys learn from this video as well. And also thank you again to my patrons. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are the best. You guys give me so much motivation, wallahi. You know, since the past 2 or 3 weeks I've been making these videos again. I've got so much passion to make these videos, and every spare time I try to get and try to think of ideas of how I can improve my videos and make more videos for you guys, good beneficial videos as well. So thank you to my patrons. If any of you guys are interested in becoming a patron, you want to help me out on this channel, you want to support me, then please by all means visit my Patreon channel. Description below is the link, and whatever you give, $1, $2, you know, whatever you give, inshallah, is something which I will appreciate, right? This is something which is for the benefit of the whole world, of the ummah, and so many people are going to be benefiting from this. And the beautiful thing is, our religion teaches us supporting one another, and you will also get a reward of everyone who benefits from these videos. Can you imagine that? So jazakumullah khair, and thank you very much for watching our videos again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. And I'm just putting the boxes around these.